Hello, scattered sheep, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to read about being a Good Samaritan. And this is a conversation between somebody, a disciple that was actually really knowledgeable in the Christ. And also, it's really about how the world is today, even though it happened back then, this situation. Today we're going to read Luke chapter 10, and we're going to read verses 25 through 37. Now look, a man versed in the law stood up to test him and said, "Teacher, what do I need to do to inherit everlasting life?" He said to him, "What is written in the law? How do you read?" In answer, he said, "You must love Yahweh, your God, with your whole heart, and with your whole soul, and with your whole strength, and with your whole mind, and your neighbor as yourself." He said to him, "You answered correctly. Keep doing this, and you will get life." But wanting to prove himself righteous, the man said to Yeshua, "Who is really my neighbor?" In reply, Yeshua said, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell victim to robbers, who stripped him, beat him, and went off, leaving him half dead. Now, by coincidence, a priest was going down that road, but when he saw him, he passed by on the opposite side. Likewise, a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the opposite side. But a certain Samaritan, traveling the road, came upon him, and at seeing him, he was moved with pity. So he approached him and bandaged his wounds, pouring oil and wine on them. Then he mounted him on his own animal and brought him to an inn and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said, "Take care of him, and whatever you spend besides this, I will repay when I return." Who of these three seems to you have made himself neighbor to the man who fell victim to the robbers? He said, "The one acting mercifully toward him." Yeshua then said to him, "Go on and do the same yourself." So, a lot of people passed this man on the road. A priest passed him. He was dying. A priest passed him. A Levite passed him. These are just people that just crossed the street, didn't want nothing to do with whatever he was going through. Oh no. Sounds very familiar, because one time my coworker got robbed at the store. She had just gotten robbed at gunpoint, and then after the person robbed her, the person that was behind the robber in line still wanted to get rung up right after getting robbed. Not caring, not anything. Nowadays, people don't even call the police anymore. They just record on their cell phones for likes instead of getting help. Now, if people stop, it's to make a spectacle. Instead of just pass by on the opposite side, now they just make a spectacle of the man dying there. And if he dies, that's 1 million more likes. It's really a shame how the world has changed from bad to worse even. And that in that Samaritan man, finally somebody that took pity on him, mercy, That's how them two became neighbors right at that moment. He took care of his neighbor. No, they didn't live right next door. But at that point, what if that was, he was probably thinking, oh my gosh, that could have been me that was coming down this road and gotten robbed and left for dead. And then what if somebody just leaves? I remember one time where it was really hot and I was going through a rough time. I had bottled water, but it was so hot that the bottled water was like warm. It was hot. And so many people passed by me and didn't even offer me water on a 100-degree day. Okay? Nor did I ask. But that's the type of stuff that Yeshua was talking about. Being a good neighbor. Okay? And that's going to give us everlasting life. God looks on that. God is going to look on that act that Samaritan man done. The Good Samaritan. Now you all know where that comes from. If you didn't already know, the Good Samaritan. Because we all need somebody to help sometimes. So we're going to just go on to 1 Thessalonians 5, chapter 5, verse 14. And this says, on the other hand, we urge you, brothers, to warn the disorderly, speak consolingly to those who are depressed, support the weak, be patient toward all. That's being a good neighbor. Sometimes people can get a little disorderly. We warn them, hey, calm down. Hey, we don't speak harshly to those that might be depressed or sad or weak at the moment. And of course, patience, because God is nothing. It's just, he's got a lot of patience. Yeshua, a lot of patience as well. And being a good neighbor will gain us everlasting life. Because it touched me how that Samaritan man, I put myself as if I gotten robbed and beat and left for dead, and all these people, even pastors, walked by me on the opposite side of the road. And then this man sent from, you would think that man was sent from God, that helped you out and brought you back to health and saved your life. Okay? So that right there is being a good neighbor. And that right there, just like Yeshua said, will get us everlasting life. So we're going to go out there and do it. Thank you for tuning in, Scattered Sheep, and have a wonderful, blessed day.